Mr. David Ingram, and Mr. Mike Nixon into the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame. My name is Whit Turnbow. I'm the president of the Tennessee Golf Foundation, and I'm honored to be here with you for this very special occasion. Before we begin, a few special introductions. We're pleased tonight to have two members of the Tennessee Golf Foundation Board of Directors here with us, three actually. Tennessee Golf Foundation Chairman of the Board, Mr. Jim Seabury and his wife Lori. Also with us is Tennessee Golf Foundation Independent Director, Mr. Jamison Monroe. And TGF Independent Director and Investment Committee Chairman, Mr. Stuart Smith and his wife, Lisa. These two gentlemen are mentors of mine and certainly a huge reason golf in Tennessee is so special. Thank you all for everything. In 1991, the TGF Board of Directors established the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame to, as its mission reads, honor the men and women whose outstanding contributions to the game made golf a better game in Tennessee. The Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame charter member class of 7 were inducted in 1991. Today, we have 56 members in the hall, 31 living, 25 deceased. There are 42 men and 14 women, 9 touring professionals, 8 PGA club professionals, 21 amateurs, 11 in the governance category of association leadership, 2 media personalities, 3 contributors to the game, and 2 golf course superintendents. The Hall of Fame and its displays are located at Golf House, Tennessee in Franklin, next door to the Vanderbilt Legends Club, and are open to the public at no charge. I hope you'll come visit. We're honored tonight to have 9 Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame members with us. And if each of you would, when I call your name, stand and wave to the crowd. 1991, 1993, and 1994, United States Women's Mid-Amateur Champion and 2-time victorious United States Curtis Cup captain from the class of 1999, Miss Sarah Ingram. A man that has been part of Tennessee golf for more than 50 years. He's held every elected position the Tennessee Section PGA has to offer and was the driving force behind the Vinny. From the class of 2012, we know him as Pro Joe. Please say hello to Mr. Joe Taggart. A Cookeville, Tennessee native who was among the first to win both the Tennessee State Amateur and Open. He spent 7 years on the PGA Tour. Please welcome from the class of 2007, Mr. Bobby Greenwood. My predecessor, who for 45 years led golf in Tennessee into what you see today. We kindly refer to him around Golf House as the Godfather. From the class of 2019, Mr. Dick Horton. A leader in turfgrass research, both here in Tennessee and on a national stage. From the Vanderbilt Legends Club to the Grove, and now the Firefly. Please welcome from the class of 2017, Mr. Joe Kennedy. A winner of 10 Tennessee Golf Association championships, who's made 15 appearances in USGA events. From the class of 23, Mr. Rob Long. Long-time Belle Meade Country Club golf professional Willie Gibbons. I haven't seen Willie. He was planning on trying to be here, but I did not see him. But Willie, as you all know, is recovering, and he's doing quite well and regrets he couldn't be here with us. But how about it for long-time Belle Meade Country Club pro, Willie Gibbons. Former captain of the Alabama women's golf team, and 1983 and 1985 Tennessee women's amateur champion. She was also the Tennessee Golf Foundation Director of Junior Golf for more than 25 years. From the class of 2024, Miss Lissa Bradford. And last but certainly not least, here to introduce our first inductee is the 1973 Tennessee Amateur Player of the Year, who played on 20 Tennessee Challenge Cup teams in his career. From the class of 2010, please welcome Mr. Lou Connor.
All these faces that I know from another venue benefit very well. I'm here to say just a few words about our first inductee in the evening, Mike Nixon. Other than to congratulate David Ingram, and I can say a lot about him too. That's my job. Mike is one of the best golfers the state of Tennessee has ever seen. He has beaten the pros to death for a half of a career, and the amateurs to death for another half of a career. He's done some things that you absolutely can't conceive when you understand how big the game of golf is, how many people play it, and some of the things that Michael has done. And I just hope that you think about it in 2 or 3 things that I will tell you in the context of how many people are on a golf course. Male, female, black, white, young, old. For instance, in 1976, Mike Nixon won the National PGA Long Drive Contest. But think of the stats on that. I mean, I find it to be incredible. But sure enough, the boy did it. He's won a lot of other driving contests, legal and illegal. With some witnesses who can't testify because they had a conflict of interest. Let me give you another example. The great world of golf, okay? And Michael Nixon. There are 6 events that the United States Golf Association puts on annually. 6 events. And we have back-breaking qualifiers. Events that the United States Golf Association puts on annually. 2 people that play golf, 2. Not 2 million, not 22 million. 2 people. One from North Carolina and one from Nashville, who have qualified for 5 of those 6 events. As anybody who plays the game seriously knows, we normally decide those things on the golf course with about 80 people trying to get 2 spots. Sometimes it's 76 for 1 spot. I mean, it's the hardest thing we do, or have done. 2 people have qualified for 5 of those 6 events. One of them is Michael Nixon. And to me, that is extraordinary. There's no way to explain the pressure of trying to qualify for a USGA event with the odds being what they are, other than to have actually been involved in that process. And not only has he been involved in the process, he's set records that will probably never be surpassed. I don't believe there'll be anybody who makes all 6 qualifiers. Mike's wins are 40. 40 times he's gone out there and played in a golf tournament where lots of people trying to beat his brains out. Most of them can play and they might act like cotton. But 40 times he won. And I find that to be incredible as well. He's won big events and not quite as big events. And some of the big events, unless you're involved with the game of golf, you don't even know about. There is a group called the Society of Seniors. And they let me in for a little while. Why, I don't know. But till I went brain dead and laying dead, they let me in. And I finally figured out why they did it. It was so I could be here tonight to talk about the toughest win that Mike Nixon will get anytime. He got in the Society of Seniors Championship, which takes all of the old men, and unless you've won a state tournament and qualified for a USGA event, they don't take you. And Michael got in when he got old enough and promptly won the Society of Seniors Championship. He is one heck of a player. And better than that, he's a heck of a person. Mike, I think I've said enough. Get up here.
Try to brighten this mood a little bit. Let's go. I want to thank Lou for his thoughtfulness and everything he's done for me in my life, and to begin with, and with the Tennessee PGA and the Tennessee Golf Association merger. Lou was in the forefront of that, and the smartest thing he did was bring Dick Horton here to make this merger happen. Lou, of course, is already a member of this great Hall of Fame and the Vanderbilt Athletic Hall of Fame, and he's got more distinguished stars in this. Did this? All right. He's got enough Lifetime Achievement Awards to fill one of Lou Graham's tour bags. But that's enough about Lou. I want to talk about Ashley. Ashley has been around for this. Ashley is the person that allowed Lou Conner to be Lou Conner. And she never gets enough credit. I want to give her enough credit tonight. She has done. I used to tease Lou. He's been writing a book for 30 or 40 years. And I told him, I said, you ought to name it The Straw That Stirs the Drink, because that's really what you are and how good, and that's it's beautiful. But you know, I'm wrong. It's Ashley. She's the one that stirs the drink. And I am so thankful to you for letting Lou be Lou for all these years. And maybe having Connor too. This little forest back here. Connie Pierce, I know you do all this stuff and nobody seems to ever give you any credit, but you've done a great job. And if the foundation didn't have you, I don't know what they'd do with all this stuff. So thank you very much. Lou and Whit have mentioned all the boards and all that, and the foundation board, and Jim Seabury for guiding them, and Stuart, all you've done, and the whole board, and they've given their time freely for all the things that have happened over the last 30 plus years. And there's not another state in the country that is doing what we're doing in Tennessee. It's fabulous. So thank the TGA and all their board and all their folks that give their time and their energy, and the Tennessee PGA as well, that keeps the professional side of this game rolling. They've done a great job, and I'm certainly glad to be a part of all this, and I thank you all. I want to thank Bob Martineau for coming. Bob's the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, and a bunch of you PGA pros, Bobby Greenwood, Neil Collins, Robin Boyer, Jerry Hinton, and our green superintendent at Harrison Bay, Paul Carter's here. Paul's also the director of agronomy for the Tennessee State Parks. And he's also the vice president of the national body of the GCSA this year, so it's a pretty good deal. To all the Hall of Fame members that are here, I'm so happy to join you, and thank you for all that you've done for the game. My family's here. I want to thank my sweet, lovely wife, Melinda, and my bonus kids, Jordan and Grace and Joe. And it's been a pretty good 20-year journey with them, and it's just been a pleasure. And Melinda doesn't play golf, so she's happy for me to just do whatever I want to, because it keeps me out of her hair. And of course, the kids will keep you humble and put some joy in your life too, I suppose. This is going to be hard. But there's some folks that aren't here tonight. So you're going to have to bear with me. My mother, father, sister, and brother, my two aunts are all gone. And what they did for me is just, it's really mind-boggling. I don't know without my two aunts, I'm not sure what we would have done anyway. My first wife, Lisa Kennedy. Many of you knew Lisa, I think. She passed away in '98. But she was a successful businesswoman in her own right, and a real sport. She loved sports, period, and she would be happy to be here. Doug Harris. I've known Doug since he was in high school. He caddied for me some back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And then I played with him a few times. And then later on in life, especially the last 8 or 10 years, I got to know Doug really well. And we became really good friends. And he passed away last September. But Nancy's here and Douglas is here. And I thank y'all for coming so much, because we miss Dougie. when I first started and got involved in golf, I was 13 years old or so over at Shelby Park in caddying. And I used to caddy for this guy named Sinclair. And, he was fun. And I really liked him because he paid $3. The caddy fee was $2. And he was always fun. But what I didn't know was that 40 plus years later, he'd be my father-in-law. And so Melinda's dad, Jerry Sinclair, would love to be here as well. I'm going to wait on Mike Patton for a few minutes because I'm going to make it. Growing up at Shelby Park was an education. It wasn't a formal education, but it was quite the education. As a kid, we played everything, and mostly for me, baseball, basketball, and track. And then Arnold Palmer showed up in 1960 and won the Masters and the U.S. Open, and thought, golly, that's a pretty good deal there. So that sort of got into my bailiwick then. So Herschel Eaton was the golf professional at Shelby Park and then later at Harpeth Hills. And his son Ray, who won the 1959 schoolboy, turned out to be a lifelong friend. And Danny Gibson, who won the state high school in 1958, 1959, when there was only one champion, which, I don't know, maybe it's more fun, maybe it's not, but he beat everybody. And a fellow named Buddy McEwen, who wound up being a really good college player at Memphis State. And there's a couple of guys here that won that state high school when it was only one champion. And Stewie's sitting over there. I think Bob Walcott was supposed to be here. I'm not sure he's here or not. And Mike Malarkey's here. Mike Malarkey won it 3 times. He won it every year he was ever in high school. And I got to tell you that Mike Malarkey's still the best junior player I ever saw in my life. Met Waxo Green, who's a member of this hall, and Mac Brothers, who's a member of this hall. Right out back here in 1963, I qualified for the U.S. Juniors. And Waxo took a liking to me in some reason or other. And between Waxo and Mr. Brothers, I wound up getting the Tennessee Golf Association scholarship to go to Memphis. And Mr. Brothers sat me down before I went down there, and he said, "Look, son, we've been doing this a while. We got nobody that's ever graduated. So you get your ass down there and graduate. If you can't keep up with your studies while you're playing golf, quit golf. We got your back. It's not a big deal." Well, that turned out to be a blessing because my sophomore year in the fall, I broke my elbow in 9 pieces in kind of a freak basketball accident and was ready to leave school, quite honestly, that spring. And Mike Malarkey kept me from doing that. He always had a kind word, said that I had talent and ability and everything had turned all right, just hang in there. And thankfully I did stay. I didn't play with it too in college particularly, but I thank him for that as well. Later on, about 6 years later, I had another surgery on my elbow and got a lot of that metal out of there, and I picked up 20 yards. It's a pretty good deal. I don't recommend it, but it worked out for me. I joined the Eatons at Harpeth Hills in 1970 and worked with them and played, and I just wanted to play. I went anywhere I could go to play in a tournament. I didn't care where it was. I took off on a whim and I went to Europe for a few months in 1975. Played over there all summer and had a big time. Somehow got home with about $100, but I had a good time. I got 2 cracks at the tour in the mid-70s and early 80s. Didn't really play very well, but I had fun and met so many people that's what this game is really all about, is all the people that you meet. And I got to play with some great players. I played with over 150 tour pros during that time, and our local guys, some of the Tennessee guys, Louis Graham and Mason Rudolph, were both really kind to me. But John Schley and Bobby Greenwood were exceptionally supportive during that time, and I appreciate all that. I got to play with a lot of players over the years, and there's way too many of them to name, but I got to play golf with Ben Hogan and have dinner with Byron Nelson and play with Tom Watson and Gary Player and some of the folks like that. And it was terrific, quite honestly. And I remember Louis one time, he told me, he said, man, I hope you don't ever get paired with Palmer. He said, it's a 2-shot penalty to get paired with him. He said, it's awful. Well, I found something that was worse. I got paired with Tom Watson and Bob Dixon at the Byron Nelson one Saturday morning in front of Arnold. I've never seen that many people in my life. 90% of Dallas was on that golf course, and they all wanted to see Arnold. They ran over us. I mean, they completely ran over us. And from, I don't know, maybe the 4th or 5th hole, we just kind of started laughing. There was nothing we could do. But it was an amazing day, and it was really a lot of fun. Bruce Fleischer was a really good friend. Gil Morgan and Roger Maltby and Gabe Brewer were really fun to play with. And it was just a joy to do it, and that's really what I wanted to do. So later on, I meet Bob Martineau, and in 2011, Bob and I got together. Bob is the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, and he didn't even know he had the golf courses until the night he got in at the inauguration. He said, "Hey, I got these golf courses. What are we going to do?" Well, anyway, we chatted a bit, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll come do something for a year." Well, 1 year turned into 11. And it was half fun and half frustrating. But the truth of the matter is, we did a lot of good. We were losing an incredible amount of money in 2011. And we made money in 2021 and 2022 by the skin of our teeth, but still happened. And we were all really proud of that. Bob helped us a lot with clean energy funds. We applied for some grants because we didn't have any equipment. And Bob kind of forced us into this realm that we weren't accustomed to. But at the end of the day, the TVA Clean Energy Money Fund needed some folks that could do something that would give them a little publicity, and it turned out to be us. So we bought enough equipment at Harrison Bay, to all electric equipment. The only thing left there was pretty much of the greens, the fairway units and the rough units, and the rest of it was electric. So it was the quietest course in America. The following year, they were so happy they gave us more money, and we put electric greens mowers and the other 8 golf courses to spread the wealth a little bit. And then they helped us a little bit later where we could electrify our cart barns and get rid of 6 courses with gasoline carts. We replaced them with electric carts. We got a lot of love for that, and it was nice. Plus the fact we got $1.5 million from these folks, thank goodness, and didn't cost the state of Tennessee a dime. In 2013, the Bear Trace at Harrison Bay won the Golf Digest Green Star Award. And that award goes to the most outstanding golf facility that demonstrates exceptional environmental practices. And Harrison Bay won that award thanks to Paul Carter. Paul did 90% of the work, and Robin Boyer and Martineau and I did the other half. That's what Yogi said anyway. That was a great award. We couldn't monetize it particularly, but it did put the Tennessee Golf Trail on the map, and people knew who we were. We weren't the Alabama Golf Trail yet, but we were trying. And when really all you can do, I think, when you have a government public facility that you take over,
if you can leave it better off than you found it, I think you can say you probably were successful. And between all of our golf professionals and all of our green superintendents over those 10 years, we absolutely did that for the Tennessee Golf Trail, and I'm really proud of that. The golf has done for me what I could never have done doing something else, I'm pretty sure. But all the people I got to meet along the way and all the friends I've made along the way are unbelievably important to me. And, you know, I was born with wanderlust to begin with. And it gave me the ability to travel. I've been on every continent except Antarctica. Didn't want to go. Been to every state in the Union, been to 30 plus foreign countries. And not a lot changes. Golfers around the world don't change all that much. I will say that when you're growing up, you might not want to meet your idols. They tell me that you might not like them when you get to meet them. But I was fortunate. I had two. I grew up in a baseball family. My dad played, and Mickey Mantle was my hero forever. And then Arnold Palmer pops up in 1960, and all of a sudden, you know, he's unbelievable. So being able to count those two people as friends in my life has been really special. I played with Mickey 40 times maybe in Texas during the 70s. I met Arnold at Bay Hill in 1976. Had lunch with him in Latrobe 6 weeks before he passed away. And those 40 years, I didn't seem all that much, but there's several people in this room that know him a lot better than I do. But I don't know that anybody loves him or respects him any more than I do. So, you know, golf's starting to look like the rest of the world, by the way. So many people think that it's an old white man's game. But I'm going to tell you, you get in the car with me and I'll take you to Henry Horton or Ted Rhodes or Shelby or Montgomery Bell, and you'll change your mind. It's different. And it's all because of people like you that support this game, and the foundation and the golf associations that support this game that have really made this happen. So, you know, who in the world can play a game that's got a 162-page rule book and there's no referees? It's pretty good. Ingram and I could cheat if we wanted to, but we don't. So we like all that. I do want to talk about Mike Patton if I can. Mike's been my best friend for 60 years. We met at Shelby Park in 1965. We went all over the world. We had more fun than any two people ought to have, probably. We played golf, we played gin, we went fishing, we went to national parks. We never went west of the Mississippi without stopping in Vegas for a night or in Lake Tahoe for a night. And we just had fun. And sometime in the mid-70s, we played at Old Crockett Springs at Nashville Golf one day. And I don't know how many people were around, but Palmer was on the television. He was trying to win something. And Mike just up and says, you know, Nixon and I are going to his funeral when he passes. And I kind of looked, I thought, what? Yeah, we're going, okay. Well, I didn't think much about it. But over the next 10 or 15 or 20 years, what? Yeah, Nixon and I are going to that funeral. So, Arnold did pass away in 2016. And we went. And it was our last road trip. And it was perfect. So, golf's really been more than a game. You know, all of us have cursed our bad shots and laughed till the tears are rolling down our face. And and maybe quietly figured a few thank yous when our ball bounced off the tree back into the fairway, those kinds of things. But it's really the friendships and the memories that we all have. And most of us in this room have not only played golf, we've lived it. And so it's not really a game, it's a gift. And it's been a huge gift to me. So, thank you all. Sorry if I left anybody out. This is an honor of a lifetime. And nobody will appreciate it any more than I will. Thank you.
Huge impactful figure in Mr. Ingram. Not long after that, Stuart Smith and Mr. Seabury set up what I thought was a casual golf game with Mr. Ingram at the golf club. So we took off and had a wonderful day. I ended up beating Mr. Ingram out of $5 whole. I went off the right side of the 18th green to collect my $5.
Well, you can call me David. It's
David. So still, it's been 7 years. I went to get my $5 from David, and he wadded it up and threw it at my feet. And I remember looking at Stuart and going, oh shit, I got off to a bad start. Little did I know that that's a common occurrence from those of you who are lucky enough to win a few bucks off of David.
I told you what, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Here tonight to introduce David is his longtime friend and golf partner, Mr. Stuart Smith. Stuart?
Not sure there is. Well, I'm what's standing between us and dinner.
Hall of Fame inductions, I've got to lower it. Hall of Fame inductions are always a special gathering, not only of the friends and family of the inductees, but those who love the game of golf. And I'd say everybody here does that. 2 seasoned golfers are being inducted tonight, and it is our opportunity to reflect upon our common love of the game and all the friendships along the way. That's the last time I'm being nice. It's my honor to share a few thoughts, memories, and stories about David. First of all, he's a grammar stickler. I checked this through ChatGPT for grammar, and it came back with 2 words: Ask David. I met him almost 50 years ago playing in some junior golf tournaments. I witnessed a lot of shots, some even right of his politics. That's pretty far right. I know when he asks for a lesson, the white flag has been thrown. He needs it. And the last thing is, and Sylvan is here tonight, and he can certainly vouch for this, he pays his caddies extremely well. They do a lot of work for him, but he needs no advice. He keeps his own yardages, he reads his own putts, all of that. So it's fun to throw a few jokes at David. He was always a good player. He's part of a family that's won 3 USGA championships, been on 3 Curtis Cup teams. I'm not finished. And 2 victorious Curtis Cup captaincies. Seriously, David certainly has earned this Hall of Fame honor, the recognition that it brings. But when he was notified of this, he made this first statement: "Is Sarah in yet?" I don't know whether it's fear, respect, or both, but it was a nice comment.
It was so long ago, I forgot.
Oh, he certainly has a player's resume. He was a walk-on at Duke. Congratulations, a 4-year letterman. He won the Clifford Perry Award his senior year, which was for academic excellence and leadership. That means he wasn't practicing enough academic leadership. As a junior, he won the Southern Junior Classic in 1981, but 84 was his big year. Now, 84, remember that number, okay? He won the Durham Amateur. He won the Orange County Amateur. That's not Knoxville. That's actually Winston-Salem, or Chapel Hill, sorry. Thanks for correcting me. It wasn't grammar. He also finished high enough in the ACC event that year to beat Billy Andrade and Davis Love III, if nobody's ever heard that. He's also won the club championship here at Belle Meade Country Club. He won the Jupiter Island Club Championship in 2003, beating Bill Campbell. Now, Bill Campbell is a World Golf Hall of Fame, 17-time everything, and David beat him. But the most unique thing about David is he's had 12 career hole-in-ones, all witnessed. He's had 7 at Augusta National, 3 on number 16 at Augusta. It's called Redbud, but we know what it's going to be called if they rename it.
Did you tell him how I beat Bill Campbell?
He ran out of oxygen.
I was 40, he was 80. I barely did.
Okay. You get your talking in just a minute. Okay. I like this. David's a tough player. I would classify that as a gamer. Someone I can see miss short putts, chunk and skull chip shots, hit drives everywhere, but he's back asking for more. That's someone who loves the game. And he has stated after he met Sarah that his game went completely south. And I think in the next minute and a half, you're going to know why. He graduated from Duke. He went to Vanderbilt, whatever school that is, to get an MBA. I went to UT. He graduated in 1989. Now this is really impactful here. In 1996, at 32 years old, he made the courageous decision to gain 100% control of Ingram Entertainment. He was CEO there from 1996 to 2012. Now, at the time, they were the #1 video distribution company in the United States, probably the world. But in the meantime, he knew that the roller coaster ride of DVD distribution, I'm not going to go through all the details of accounts won and lost, whatever. He decided to get in the beer business. In 2002, he bought a little beer distributorship in Memphis. Now, this is where it shows that David will do anything to get down in the weeds. Because I called him one day and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I hear this ruckus in the background. I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm in the beer truck in Memphis." I said, "The DVD business is that bad?" He says, "No, stupid. I'm thinking about buying something here." I go, "Okay, good luck." But anyway, he turned that little beer business in the #2 beer distributorship, beverage distributorship is what they call it now, in California. In 2019, he sold that to Reyes Holdings, and at the time it was the single largest, whatever you call it, beer distributorship in the United States. Now that is incredible to me. And I thought I knew a lot about him. He served on multiple public boards, currently the board of Pinnacle Financial. He was chairman of the board of trustees at MBA for 9 years, overseeing by far the largest gift ever to be granted to a high school. It was over $100 million. That was a good day. He's currently chairman of the Owen Graduate School of Management, Board of Visitors, whatever that, I mean, that's something. I can see why your game went south. If there was an award for business, philanthropy, and golf, this guy would be the first one in. That's my vote. So David not only loves to play golf, he loves to share golf. There are so many golf trips with so many different friends of his, of places we could only dream of playing. I don't even want to go into all the details. He has supported multiple high schools and universities. I will list them. Duke, Virginia. Didn't even go to Virginia. I know Bronson did. Vanderbilt, MBA, Harpeth Hall, Lipscomb. The list goes on. He's currently the president of the golf club at Tennessee, founded by his father. He pulled the golf club through the flood in 2010. He lent his whole operations team, which two of them I saw here tonight, to keep the club legally and financially on the right path. I can't tell you the strength of courage that would take at that time. And then you forward about 15 years, and he decides to build a course that won't flood. If it does, we're not here anymore. No one could have achieved that, in my opinion. It's safe to say he's created one of the greatest golf experiences in the United States on one piece of property. He's been a very, very generous supporter of the Tennessee Golf Foundation. I've been held to a time limit, so I can't go into all of that. He helped establish the Vinny. For 25 years, the Vinny, I don't know how much money it gushed out into junior golf development programs, but it's a lot. I mean, millions of dollars. He gives for the love of the game and the pleasure he gets from it. It's of no obligation that I've ever seen. So I have one last story to tell you what the game means to David. So we're at Shoal Creek, hotter than bejesus. Why can't we go in the fall? So David is hitting balls further right than the furthest right of politics he's ever achieved. And this is happening over and over again. So we finally break for lunch, go in, and he's there for 10 or 15 minutes, waffles down a hot dog, and I look around, I go, where's David? And Lindsey Bohannon's on this trip, and I think we know where he is. So we walk over to the range, and all I hear is click, bang, click, bang. Well, the click is the ball hitting the club. The bang is the club hitting the ground. and this goes on. We're not going to interrupt him. He's having way too much fun. So we watch this for a while. He doesn't even look up. And he says, you know what? If it weren't for this game, my life would be perfect. Yeah. Many lives here and beyond would be a lot less than perfect without you and your contributions to the game. So, an honor well earned. And we have a hat to give him. It says, if it weren't for this game, my life would be perfect, and it's in Duke blue.
I'll try not to go on too long, but I got my hat on. Okay. So, golf, as Mike said so rightly, is about relationships and friends. And just like to take 2 seconds. That Shoal Creek trip involved Bob Jackson. And Bob would be here if he were still living, and he passed away on May 15th. So maybe we can take just a moment to think about Bob. And I think he's here in spirit, but Bob Jackson was one of the really great ones, and he loved golf as much as anybody that I know. So I'll think about Bob for a second. Put my readers on since I'm old now. Well, it's an honor to be honored. I had some good friends that came in for this. I didn't know that Tim Ford was coming in. He came in from Phoenix. My good friend Chick Kozloff came in from Tucson. My friend Alan Davis came from Atlanta. Mike Nixon came all the way from Franklin, Tennessee. So, but I really appreciate those people that made the effort to come in. It really is meaningful. And you heard a lot about my wife. Yes, she's awesome. And she said, write out your speech and read it so that we stay on time. And of course, I ignored that advice. But my friends always tell me that I over-married myself. And Sarah is 3 years younger than I am. And she got into the Hall of Fame 26 years ago. So she has many USGA championships, and I've got a couple club championships. So there is a difference. But I want to take a second and just recognize my parents. They're the ones that got me into golf early on, and I think they had all of the children play the country club sports, and golf was one of them: tennis, riding, swimming, what have you. But the real reason that I'm here tonight is not because of the country club sports, it's because of football. I went to Innsworth. I played football and some other things there, but in 6th grade, I thought I was kind of hot stuff. I played in the backfield. Sam might remember this, Sam Harwell, but Tommy Jacobs was quarterback, and I was touching the ball a lot, and I thought I was going to be an NFL football player. And then I went to NBA in 7th grade and went out for football, and I was a little slow to grow, and I weigh about 190 pounds now, and I think I weighed about 120 pounds back then. And when a 120-pound boy gets hit by a 180-pound boy, it's the physics of that are bad. And I can remember after I finished that season thinking to myself, my God, I got to find something I can do because I am not going to be an NFL football star. So I got involved with the golf team at NBA, and I had some proclivity for golf, but I will say that golf, and we've heard it from Mike, but it's about friends. David Williamson is here, and Tim Ford is here, and they played on the NBA golf team with me, and both of them played in college at UVA, a much lesser school than Duke, but they pushed. We pushed each other, and that was great. My college journey kind of went like this. I became, I guess, good enough in high school to think that I might be able to play in college, and so I kind of narrowed it down. I thought, well, my father is a big taskmaster, and I knew he had high standards for me, and he wanted each of the kids to go somewhere other than Vanderbilt because he thought it was a good growing up experience. And so I kind of narrowed down the acceptable colleges to Duke and William and Mary because I didn't want to hit practice shots into a snowbank. And I thought, those would be schools that were academically challenging enough to get his blessing. And so we visited each campus, and the William and Mary golf coach was all excited about me. I wasn't a great junior player, but I was okay, and they were probably a second-tier college team at the time. But the coach said, "Oh, you'll definitely play for us. Just fill out the top of this application. I'll get you in. You'll be great. You'll play every tournament." I was like, that sounds pretty good. So I visited with the Duke coach, and he was kind of a nasally guy, and I saw Mike Malarkey here earlier. He knew Rod Myers, but Rod said something like, "Well, you might be able to play for us if you can get in." But so what he meant there was he wasn't going to recruit me or open the door for me. And I was really fortunate. I got into both schools, and my dad came to me and said, "Well, David, you got a choice to make. Where do you want to go to school?" I said, "Well, Dad, the golf coach is really excited about me at William and Mary, and he said I'd play, and gosh, I think I want to go to William and Mary." He said, "Son, you made the wrong choice. You're going to Duke." And so that's how choices worked in the Bronson Ingram family. But, the great thing about going to Duke is that, I did make the team, and I was able to play and had some successes and played with some cool people. But I did meet Sarah, and I met Sarah actually on her recruiting trip. She was there. I met her kind of in passing, but I kind of remembered her. At least I said I did. And so she ended up choosing, she was highly recruited, I was not. She ended up choosing Duke over Stanford, and so I like to tell people it was because she met me on the recruiting trip, but the truth was I think she wanted to be a little closer to home. But we started going out the first couple weeks of school, and her mom's here, and her mom was up to check me out real quickly because I was a senior and she was a little freshman. And the questions were, "What are your intentions, young man?" And I didn't say it, but I probably thought, well, what any 21-year-old would be thinking. So anyway, here we are 41 years later. We were actually married. I think we've been married about 36 years, and it's been wonderful. We have 2 sons and now a new daughter-in-law, and I have told people I married Sarah so I could produce a white Tiger Woods, but our kids didn't get the golf bug. Bronson's got a little bit now. They can both play, but they don't have the obsession. But that's totally fine. So back to the Tennessee Golf Foundation. I've been very happy to be involved in it. Stuart mentioned all the different ways that I've tried to give back to golf because it's been so important to me. I remember one time, I think it was Henry, said to Bronson, face it, Bronson, you and I exist because of golf. And I thought that was, showed how smart Henry is. He's the one that went to Stanford. But, just in finishing, I feel like I'm one of the luckiest guys I know. Life's been great to me. I've met so many great friends through golf. I've tried to give back to golf, but I've gotten way more from golf than I can even say. So thank you all tonight. I think we're done, but this is a great honor, and I'm so appreciative.